Selecting a writing style. There may be several purposes for writing while studying, including informing, persuading, reporting, investigating, comparing and contrasting, discussing. Your writing style and language needs to relate to the purpose. So, to identify the purpose, look for clues in the assignment question. This will also enable you to select the appropriate tone and voice in your writing. For example, if your purpose is to inform, you will include facts and summaries. If your purpose is to report, you will include what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and make recommendations. The type of writing you're doing will alter the tone and voice. You take a very professional tone, quite a formal tone in most assignments. Of course, the higher up the qualification you're going, the more that would be an expectation. The lower a qualification it is, at a Certificate 2 or Certificate 3 level, they're not going to be quite as concerned about the way you word things and using the most professional of language. But of course you need to be trying to do your best to word things well so that they're easily understood and suiting the training type of purpose, the training and assessment purpose. In planning your writing, the most important questions to ask yourself when identifying your purpose, the purpose in your writing, are: who is my audience? What is the purpose of the writing? Is it to inform, to compare, to persuade? What format do I choose to suit the purpose? Now, this might be specified in your assignment question, for example, a report, an essay, or another form of writing. The most important questions to ask yourself when identifying the purpose, this is continued, more equally important questions as those previous. How will I present the information in a way that meets the needs of the readers? So how can I present it clearly and concisely so that people with their understanding will be informed and interested, engaged? What specific vocabulary and terminology should I use? Will they understand specialised terminology to the field, or do you need to explain it? Certainly acronyms, so RPL for recognition of prior learning, etc. Any acronym at all in your industry you can use, but the first time you use it, you should use the whole phrase, like recognition of prior learning, and then use brackets and put the RPL in brackets, close the brackets, and then from then on, throughout your report or essay or whatever sort of paper it is, then you can just simply say RPL. And that's the case for any acronym that you use at all. The next step is to establish what you will write about. This will be guided by your understanding of the instructions. Here we go. So on page 61 of the Success for You guide, I've got a screenshot of some of that here, and over the next few pages, it's quite a long table, 3 pages worth, we've got a table of keywords that will help you to understand what the instruction or the question in your assignment is actually asking of you, and help you identify the purpose of the task. So we're actually going to go through those keywords briefly, and I'm going to add in my thoughts on what they really mean. So to analyse is to break down the topic to find the main ideas, investigate the components or parts, show how they're related and why. So what does it really mean? Really explain what the topic is really made up of. To argue is to support or reject a position by presenting reasons and evidence in a rational manner. So to make a case for a certain position. To assess is to consider the facts and link to theory, to make a judgment on the validity of those facts and provide supporting evidence. So there you're putting in your thought about what you're looking at. Critique is to examine and analyse a point of view. It's to make a judgment about the value of something. Definitely putting in your point of view in that one. To define is to determine the parameters or the scope of the definition. Describe clearly and concisely your understanding of the topic and support it with evidence. So that would be linking it back to readings and things. To explain is to clarify. Evaluate is to present the issue. Consider all points of view. Form your own opinion by drawing conclusions and support your position. So you go through those steps in order in your paper. Presenting the issue, presenting the different perspectives and points of view, presenting then your own opinion and saying why, and supporting that reason why, linking it back to what you've presented or found. To interpret, to explore and clarify the meaning using examples and personal comment. Convey your understanding and reaction to a topic. Explain why it has meaning or significance. That one's quite clear. To investigate is to examine the topic systematically, step by step. Present and explore the facts and draw conclusions. Illustrate. Explain or clarify by using specific examples, graphs, pictures, table, visual concepts. So to explain something using those different tools in your explanation. So they're the illustrations. Justify, establish your position and develop a rationale to support it. So just establish your position, what do you think, and support it with evidence. To list or enumerate means the same thing. Recount the points one by one, very much how the presentations here have been, point by point. We're on page 62 of the Success for You guide now. To outline, provide an organised overview of the main points or general principles. So it's not including everything, it's almost like a summary really. A little bit more detailed than a summary, but similar, has similarities. To prove, to demonstrate with evidence that a theory or opinion is true. So linking back to that evidence to your references is very important. To relate, emphasize the links and explore the relationships between ideas to demonstrate how things are connected. Using mind maps or those sorts of things, visuals that use linking charts would really help explain that, but it can certainly be done in words as well, in words only as well. To review, critically examine the topic, assess the main points, and comment on any observations. To state is to express the main points, or you can also state your opinion, which is to clearly, concisely express your opinion. To summarize is a brief statement of the main points. The difference between an outline and a summary is the outline's looking at the general principles, the overview. The summary is detailing the main points, getting into a bit more detail, but just brief statements of those main points. A trace, give an outline showing the development or history of the topic, describing the stages. So it's very important that you understand exactly what the question is asking, and the best way to do that, if you have any query or any little, I think it's this but I'm not quite sure, is to clarify it with your assessor, and to do that before you start working on the assignment is the best. But sometimes you'll start to work on it and then you'll have some concerns come up while you're working that you couldn't think of when you just read it standalone without the experience of trying to do the work. So as soon as you have any questions like that, see if you can contact and find out an answer from your assessor. So I hope that's explained a bit more about what those different terms that you might come across in an assignment question mean. And of course, you can come back to the Success for You guide to get more help with that as well. You don't need to remember all of them.